There are a lot of little intricacies of malpractice policies that trip people up. So what are some things about that policy in particular that we want to focus on and think about if they're out there shopping?
Yeah, lots of angles, right?
Yep.
The most common thing that we've seen over the last year is they're the dentist at a practice, right? Practice already has a policy. Do they need to have their own? Creating layers and buffers. If you get a life insurance policy through your business, you still need one outside of your business, right? Is it going to follow you? It's diving into the unique needs of each situation. I know it sounds very generic. Oh, we have our own malpractice insurance, right? So we have to think about my guys have to do the right thing and protect their folks. So we're going to dive into it and then help them game plan for what it's going to look like when they do want to own their own practice. Things like retroactive coverage is in our world is a big thing. Are they covered from 5 years ago when they started their practice and they're starting the new one? Are they going to have something comes up? That's a reality in the medical world, right? And we think about it in our space too, from when a liability claim was happened, did we have coverage at that moment that wasn't malpractice related? A slip and fall, sometimes people in today's society, it's litigious, right? Things come out of nowhere. And so it's just taking it from different angles and knowing that it's $1,000 to get a malpractice policy in your name to protect yourself, because the really big picture is you really don't know what's on that practice's policy. What if they have $1 million in coverage and they had something unforeseen happen and they got zapped coverage and no one really knows about it, right? It's a small investment for big picture things.
And if you'll get tail coverage at the end when you do leave, and the date of when you should get the coverage is incredibly important. When we went and spoke at one of the schools, some of the students were asking me, is when should I look at getting this coverage?
And exactly right. And what will really throw a lot of people off is when these malpractice policies or your general liability policy, any sorts of liability, there's usually a throw-in of something, right? Cyber coverage. General liability on your malpractice policy is very common, but it's not what you think it is. It's going to see general liability. So it's kind of cutting through the crap, I would say. And then what's the source? What's going to cover you? And it's really understanding that. And that's the most common thing. We're saying, oh, I got general liability. It's on my malpractice. It's not going to cover you when you lease the building.